Imagine you're an ape. Life is simple. You wake up. You grab some fruit. You climb a tree. You avoid anything with teeth bigger than yours. Nobody pays taxes. Nobody has a calendar. Nobody invents office chairs. Honestly, evolution was having a fantastic day. Then one ape does something completely unnecessary. He stands up. Not forever. Just to see. He looks around. Takes a few awkward steps. Keeps going. Millions of years later, you make a strange noise every time you stand up from the couch. Welcome back to Ever Wondered. Today we're talking about one of the greatest upgrades in the history of life, that also came bundled with one of the worst subscriptions imaginable: back pain, knee pain, hip pain, flat feet. All because one branch of apes decided that walking on two legs seemed like a fun experiment. The strange part? It worked. It worked so well that it eventually led to cities, rockets, smartphones, and someone watching this video while lying in bed because their back hurts. So what actually happened? Let's go back, way back, around 6 to 7 million years ago. Our ancestors lived in Africa, and the world looked very different. Instead of endless grasslands, huge forests covered much of the landscape. If you were a small ape, trees solved almost every problem. Hungry? Free? Danger? Climb. Need a nap? Tree. Need to escape an argument? Different tree. Life wasn't perfect, but it was familiar. Then the climate slowly changed. Not over centuries. Over millions of years. The forests began shrinking. The trees became farther apart. Suddenly, finding food meant crossing stretches of open ground. That doesn't sound dramatic until you remember something. Open ground is where predators live. Imagine your refrigerator slowly moving farther away every year, and between you and dinner there are lions. That's basically the situation. Most apes looked at this new environment and kept doing what had worked for millions of years. Chimpanzees still spend much of their lives climbing. Gorillas still rely heavily on four limbs. Orangutans practically turned trees into luxury apartments. Their backs would like everyone to know they made excellent life choices. But one population tried something different. Instead of running from tree to tree on all fours, they started spending more time upright. Scientists still debate exactly why, and that's actually normal. Evolution rarely leaves behind instruction manuals. Instead, researchers compare fossils, anatomy, climate records, and living animals to build the most likely explanation. The first explanation is surprisingly boring, which usually means it's probably important. Energy. Walking on two legs is incredibly efficient. Not faster. Not stronger. Just cheaper. Imagine two cars. One burns fuel like it's trying to empty the tank. The other somehow travels twice as far using half as much. Which one survives when food becomes scarce? Exactly. As forests spread apart, individuals that wasted less energy searching for food gained an advantage. Small advantage, huge consequences. Then there's another idea that sounds almost too clever to be real. Standing upright keeps you cooler. Think about the African sun. A chimpanzee on all fours exposes almost its entire back directly to the sunlight. Stand up, and suddenly far less of your body faces the sun. Your own body creates shade. You're also taller, so you catch more wind. Nature accidentally invented passive air conditioning millions of years before humans invented electric fans. Pretty impressive. But the biggest advantage wasn't energy. It wasn't temperature. It was something hanging at your sides. Your hands. The moment your hands stopped acting like legs, they became available for everything else. Carrying food, carrying children, throwing stones, using sticks, building tools. Eventually those simple actions became hunting, then cooking, then farming, then writing, then science, then spacecraft. History didn't begin because someone suddenly became smarter overnight. History began because two hands finally had time to practice. Here's where the story becomes really interesting. Standing up sounds like one simple change. It wasn't. Imagine taking a house designed to sit flat on the ground, then deciding to turn it into a skyscraper. You don't just add more floors. You have to rethink almost everything. Evolution had the same problem. Our ancestors were built for 4 limbs. Now the whole body had to balance vertically. The spine curved into its famous S shape. The pelvis became shorter and wider. The legs lengthened. The knees shifted inward. The feet stopped acting like hands and became shock absorbers. Every part of the body joined the renovation project. The strange thing is that evolution never demolished the old building. It simply kept renovating while people were still living inside. That's why the human body is full of compromises. Your spine is brilliant. It acts like a spring. It keeps you balanced. It lets you run. But it also carries enormous pressure every single day. Sit at a desk. Pressure. Carry groceries. Pressure. Pick up a sock. More pressure than you'd expect. Sleep in a weird position. Congratulations. Tomorrow morning is going to be interesting. Around 80% of people experience significant back pain during their lifetime. That's not because humans are badly designed. It's because humans are optimized, not perfected. Evolution doesn't ask, can we make this comfortable forever? It asks, will this survive long enough to produce the next generation? Those are very different questions. The same compromise appears everywhere. Your knees carry the weight of your upper body with every step. Your hips balance your entire torso. Your ankles constantly adjust to uneven ground. Your feet contain dozens of bones working together, like an incredibly complicated suspension bridge. Most of the time they perform beautifully, until they don't. Humans experience knee problems, hip problems, slipped discs, bunions, fallen arches, an entire collection of complaints that many other primates experience far less often. Sometimes it feels like evolution released version 1.0 and never shipped the bug fixes. But then, look at what those compromises achieved. Free hands meant better tools. Better tools meant better hunting. Better hunting meant more calories. More calories helped support larger brains. Larger brains made language possible. Language created cooperation. Cooperation built villages. Villages became cities. Cities became civilizations. Civilizations built observatories, universities, hospitals, satellites, the internet. Every library, every bridge, every piece of music, every work of art, every scientific discovery, every photograph of Earth from space, all of it traces back, in one astonishing chain of events, to a population of apes that spent a little more time walking upright than everyone else. That's the beautiful thing about evolution. Tiny changes don't stay tiny. One small difference repeated over millions of years can reshape an entire planet. It's almost impossible to appreciate just how unlikely that is. If our ancestors had stayed comfortably in the trees, would another species have eventually built civilization? Maybe. Maybe not. We honestly don't know. What we do know is this. Every time your back complains after a long drive, every time your knees make mysterious popping sounds, every time you stand up and suddenly understand why your grandparents sighed before sitting down, you're experiencing a tiny reminder of a decision that began millions of years before your family even existed. Your body is a living history book. Every bone tells a story. Every muscle remembers an older design. Every ache is a reminder that evolution isn't an artist chasing perfection. It's an engineer solving today's problem with yesterday's parts. And somehow, those patched together solutions became us. So, was standing up worth it? Ask your lower back and you'll probably get one answer. Ask human history, and you'll get another. Personally, I think the trade was pretty good. I'd rather have occasional back pain than give up science, music, pizza, and the ability to complain about back pain on the internet. That seems fair. Anyway, thanks for watching. If your back started hurting somewhere during this video, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy stories where science, history, and terrible evolutionary decisions collide, don't forget to subscribe to Ever Wondered. We've got plenty more strange stories waiting. I'll see you in the next one.